Hey, Marcia. I'll be out late drinking tonight, so I won't need anything to eat when I get back.
Oh, okay. But Peter, haven't you been out drinking a lot recently? I would really appreciate it if you could come home earlier.
Huh? Why?
What do you mean, why? I think it should be obvious. I want you home so you can help deal with your mother.
What do you mean? What's wrong with my mom?
I've told you hundreds of times, haven't I? Your mother has been constantly making snide remarks about me and has been all around unpleasant. I really don't want to have to deal with her alone.
Can't you just endure it for just a while longer for me?
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. I can't deal with it anymore. You are the one who decided out of nowhere that we should live together, so you should be at home more.
Look, I can't help that I've got work to deal with, can I? These outings are with my boss and my co-workers, so they're part of work too, you know. Not only that, but we have already been living together for half a year. Maybe you should just stop being so on edge all the time.
On edge? Look, when this had all started, I thought she had just suddenly come to visit for a while. Then it turned out that no, she was actually coming to live with us. That's a pretty serious decision to make, you know. And without even thinking of asking me for permission, the two of you just went and planned it all out by yourselves. And you're saying I'm on edge.
I told you already, she can't live on her own. Don't you go trying to tell me to kick her out or something. You know I can't do that.
Yeah, I know. But why did you just go and selfishly decide this in the first place? I hope you realize that I am not forgiving you for this.
Look, why can't you just stop with all the complaints about living together? She is my mother. She is your mother-in-law. I don't get why you need to be so whiny all the time about living together.
Didn't we decide that we wouldn't be living with in-laws when we got married? We also already knew at the time that your mother would just start bullying me, didn't we? I think it's more like she just hates everyone she meets, though. Not just me.
I mean, I think what you're calling bullying is just what happens in any household, but…
What do you mean, it's just what happens? Are you trying to say I should just put up with it? Isn't my husband just the person who should be protecting me in a time like this?
Right, because a strong man should always be there to sort out a conflict between women.
Ever since she started living with us, your mother has constantly been scrutinizing my housework.
Yeah, and I don't see what the problem is.
Whenever anything isn't precisely how she likes it, she makes me do it over and over again. She's on my back about it every waking moment of the day. Furthermore, on days when I'm not at my part-time job, I'm stuck with her when doing things like going shopping or running other errands.
Huh, what's wrong with that? That's fine, isn't it? It sounds like the two of you are getting along just fine.
I'm sorry. Come again?
My mom's been a housewife for a long time. She's a pro at that stuff. It sounds like this is a great chance for her to teach you some things, isn't it?
Have you been listening to a word I've said?
Mom's been giving you advice on how to do housework, right? You've also been going out and doing things together. No?
You can't possibly be this clueless. Your mother doesn't show the slightest bit of friendliness towards me. I don't think she has a friendly bone in her body. Anyway, ever since your mother started living with us, you have been coming home really late all the time. Stop making me be the only one that has to deal with her.
Couldn't it just be that she's sticking close to you because she's interested in you? Just give her some company, and things will work out fine.
Except it's precisely that company that I'm so tired of. If I so much as slightly push back on any of her advice, as you put it, she shouts back at me 10 times worse. I can't keep going on like this.
I don't see how it could be that serious. I haven't seen my mom act like this towards you at all. Listening to all this whining is really getting on my nerves.
Well, duh. She only does it whenever you're not around. And I'm sorry if I'm getting on your nerves, but if I can't tell you about this problem, then who can I talk to?
It should be obvious. Talk to my mom.
Talking to her hasn't changed a thing. That's why I'm asking you in the first place.
Look, even if I do say something, I don't think it's going to stop.
So what? You're saying that I just have to endlessly endure your mother's rude remarks and incessant bullying?
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but… sorry, my boss is calling for me, so I have to go. Bye.
Oh, no you don't. Stop trying to run away with some sort of excuse like that all the time.
Marsha, I am working right now. This is different than the kind of work a housewife like you has to do. You need to get better at handling issues at home on your own, instead of expecting me to be your knight in shining armor all the time. I already get tired enough from work as it is, so having to deal with all these other complaints just makes things worse.
How can you even say things like that? I am really struggling here. Do you realize that?
I got a call from my mom. She's saying she's been losing years off her life thanks to you. She's saying something about how you've been deliberately feeding her really salty things.
Are you kidding me? I have been doing nothing of the sort.
Well, I think she's concerned because of her high blood pressure. She was seriously angry, saying she thought she was going to collapse. What the hell were you even feeding her?
Well, for dinner, I just made some stew and boiled some Brussels sprouts. She took one bite and then suddenly shouted, "I can't possibly eat this stuff." She took the meal I spent so much time making and threw it in the sink.
I wonder if you had just made it really salty by mistake.
Peter, you've been eating my meals for a long time already. You should know. I haven't served you anything that you couldn't eat, have I?
I mean, I can't say I've run into any cooking like that, no.
Don't go talking like it's just a matter of being lucky or something. I always properly taste test my food. I most definitely have not been serving anything that could remotely be called inedible.
Well, my mom is much more picky about food than either of us. Maybe there was just something that disagreed with her about it.
If that were the case, it would have been better if she just said it. I don't think it could have been anything that required going so far as to throw it out.
I mean, sure, that might be true, but I didn't exactly eat the meal myself, so I can't really say.
Speaking of which, what time will you be coming home today?
After this, I still have to entertain some people, so I still can't come home yet.
When you say entertain, you mean you're taking them out to one of those clubs again, right?
We're just going to drink for a while. That's it. This is all just part of how my work is. You get it?
If it's all part of your work, why are you using our credit card?
Because this is all socializing between individual employees. I can't put it down as a business expense.
And yet you're saying that's part of your work? That doesn't make sense to me. Of course a bit of socializing is important. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but without the extra money from my part-time job, we can't live properly. I would really appreciate it if you could think a bit harder about how much money you spend and how you spend it.
What's this now? First you go after my mom, then you go after me? Stop trying to use me for your stress relief.
I am not using you for something like that. I am just stating facts about what our situation is.
More like you're saying it because you think what I'm doing is wrong, right? Anyway, if you have time to complain to me about every little thing, you have time to improve your relationship with my mom. Your job as a housewife is to build a good relationship with your mother-in-law.
Peter, you can only say that because you don't see what's going on here at all. The next time I'm being bullied by your mother, maybe you should actually try looking at what's happening.
What? That sounds like such a pain.
Your mother is doing this to me! Look, if you can still say such things after actually knowing what's going on, then I won't say another thing about it.
Yeah, fine, whatever. I'll keep an eye out on my next vacation day or something.
I am truly asking for your help here, okay?
Yeah, I get it. But being bullied by your mother-in-law is just part of what comes with being a wife, isn't it? If you just politely do what she says without complaining all the time, I think my mom would be a lot friendlier towards you.
I have been doing that and then some already.
Is that so? Whatever. If this will get you to shut up, I can generously give you some of my valuable time. Marcia, are you still at the grocery store? If you are, make sure to get some cigarettes, too. 1 box will do fine.
Got it. So, have you given any more thought to it?
Oh, this bullying of yours you've been going on about.
Yeah, that bullying.
I couldn't help but laugh about it.
What? Are you serious?
Man, my mom really is harsh, isn't she? While I was acting like I was still asleep, I secretly opened the bedroom door and listened to the conversation the two of you were having. It was so hilarious. I almost started laughing out loud right there.
What is so funny about this?
What with how Mom was just calling you a complete failure as a person. She really had a whole lot of complaints about how you've been doing housework, huh? And in the middle of it, I'm hearing you going all, "Ow, stop." So she was literally pushing you around, right?
Yeah, that's right. What part of any of that is so funny to you?
I mean, who wouldn't find it funny? It was like I was watching a soap opera live or something. She just kept on shouting about everything. How you weren't having any kids, how you were earning practically nothing, all sorts of things. I couldn't help but laugh about it all.
I can't even smile about any of that, let alone laugh. So that's really how it is, huh? Even when you've listened to what's actually going on, you don't think anything of it.
No. I'm agreeing with you. But, all this stuff is your fault too,
What? How in the world is it my fault?
My mom is bullying you, yet you just take it and smile back. I think you have too much pride or something. Just roll with the punches, girl. I think the root of the problem is how you're just stupidly smiling in response to everything,
What have you been watching? I have done nothing in the ballpark of stupidly smiling about anything here.
Well, why don't you try crying instead? If you do that, it might make my mom tone down her anger a bit, right?
There is no way I am going to cry about this.
Man, that part of you is not cute at all, you know that? But either way, even though it'd be totally fine to not just grin and bear it, you have just been acting like such an idiot. You've been doing nothing but quietly listening to what she says. Isn't that frustrating?
I mean, it's not that it isn't frustrating or anything, but things are going to change before long, so it's fine. That's why I'm putting up with it right now.
Huh? Things are going to change? What do you mean by that?
Oh, so now you actually ask. Even though after seeing your mother bullying your wife, you didn't think at all about trying to stop it?
Well, yeah, but it looked to me like that's just the way my mom communicates, so I figured it just wasn't something that I should be getting myself in the middle of. Honestly, I found it pretty hilarious to watch, so I was hoping I could get to see the two of you communicating right in front of me next time.
Huh. Well, I guess that decides it then. My choice is clear.
What choice? What do you mean?
Leave. Get out of my condo as soon as possible. And make sure to take that insufferable old hag with you.
Huh? I don't get what you're saying here.
That's my condo. The one I bought when I was single. I'm going to divorce you, so I'm telling you and your mother to get the hell out. It's as simple as that.
Just wait a second. What are you saying? You're just exaggerating about a divorce, aren't you?
Exaggerating? How exactly am I exaggerating? When we got married, I figured I would end up getting to know your family to some extent. But deciding to live with your mother on a whim? Being bullied by your mother relentlessly? I never thought that any husband would approve of any of that, let alone mine. So I've decided to fix the problem by divorcing you.
No, you're not serious. You're just joking around a little, aren't you? Don't actually go that far.
You have to leave by the end of the month. Got it? I haven't been speaking up very much up until now because it's your mother. After all, I had also wanted to build as good of a relationship as I could with her. However, just like you said, Peter, I have my pride.
Look, I get it. I'll apologize. For now, could you please just think it over? I'll also explain it to my mom. I'll warn her not to act like she's been doing.
It is far too late for that. Nothing you can do will change my mind.
Marcia, I heard from my mom. She said you threw all of our luggage outside. Why would you just go and do something selfish like that?
Nothing about what I did was selfish at all. You promised me that if my feelings didn't change after a month, you would leave, didn't you?
Yes, I did, but I don't want to get a divorce.
I've already talked with my lawyer countless times. Haven't you? The divorce can be dealt with later. The first thing that needs to be done is to separate.
You mean your feelings really haven't changed at all throughout this whole month? My mom and I have cooperated with you. I have done the best I can to get home early. Mom has been getting up early to make meals too, hasn't she?
Yeah, I can see how you've been trying to get in my good graces, despite it being far too late to do so. So why don't you want a divorce anyway? Especially considering how you haven't been thinking at all about me up until now.
Well, it's because you're here, Marcia. Isn't that obvious? I never thought it would come to a divorce.
Well, I guess that was just your selfish interpretation, wasn't it? I asked you for help so many times, and you just laughed in my face.
Yes, I know, but…
And then there was your mother. She thought that she could say whatever she wanted to me and it would be fine. That all suddenly changed the moment I told the two of you to get out. Only then did she start acting nicer and start helping with housework. All I could think of was how she should have just been doing that from the start.
My mom and I, we want to continue living this new life together with you.
Yeah, I bet you do. My condo's in a recently built complex, and if you live here, there's no rent to pay. It's close to a train station, and I'm here. Someone who you think will do whatever you want for you. To the two of you, the important point is how you can live an enjoyable, easy life here, isn't it? You claim you've cooperated with me, but that's out of a desire for self-preservation, not because either of you actually reflected on your actions.
No, you're wrong.
I'm telling you that that's what your attitudes have been showing me. Besides, it's you and your mother's fault that things even came to this to begin with. I was obviously surprised by suddenly living with your mother, and if possible, I really wanted to avoid doing so. That said, it was out of the kindness of my heart that I didn't force the issue at the time.
Yeah.
Despite that kindness, the two of you got carried away selfishly doing what you liked. And this is the result of your actions. You can't take back all of what you did in just 1 month, after all.
Well, from now on, we'll do everything we can until your every need is satisfied.
I'm saying that if you could do that, you should have done it from the start. You have been so terrible with managing money that my savings from when I was living alone are almost gone. While my part-time job has helped earn enough to offset our financial losses, I've only barely managed to start building my savings again. And while dealing with all that, when I was in trouble, you wouldn't help me at all. That's not what being together means now, is it?
I'm sorry. I messed around too much.
There's no point in apologizing. It is far too late for that to fix anything. I hope you get along well living together with your mother.
I can't do that, Marcia. If you're not there, it's impossible. When it comes to my mom, I can't do anything alone to help her, so I brought her to our place. She told me she wanted to live with us forever.
Well, you never said anything about that ahead of time, so this is how it ended up, isn't it? Not that you did much, since you forced everything on me anyway.
I'm sorry.
Well, if you regret it so much, this should be a mistake you won't make again, shouldn't it? Just to be clear, this isn't me forgiving you at all, okay? I mean that after our divorce, you should be careful about it in your own life. Got it?
I don't want a divorce.
Too bad. I do. Well, we can continue this talk after you're living somewhere else. So for now, whatever. Anyway, there's an apartment rented out in your mom's name, so I'll just send your luggage there.
What? When did you manage to file a contract like that?
I didn't force her to do it or anything. I just had your mom decide how things would go from now on. I said, "It must be terrible to suddenly be homeless, isn't it?" And she found a place and set up a contract.
But I wasn't asked about this.
Yeah, that's because I made sure to tell her not to tell you.
That's too selfish of you.
This coming from the person who selfishly decided to make me live with his mother? Don't you think you should be grateful that we found a place for you to live at all?
But I wasn't planning on leaving. I thought that you'd forgive me and we wouldn't end up getting a divorce.
In what world did you think that would actually happen? This is exactly why I'm telling you to stop only thinking about what you want. No matter what happens, I will still want to break up with you. You're telling me that up until the very end, you have only been thinking about what would be best for you?
I'm sorry, Marcia. I am truly sorry. I have been horrible.
Yes, you have. That's how things came to this at all. If you finally get it, stop being so whiny about it.
What can I do for you to forgive me? I'll do anything. I'll make sure my mom doesn't bully you at all. I'll be a good husband. I'll do everything I can to work with you.
Quit it! You're making me laugh.
What?
The two of you have managed to pull the most blatant about-face I've ever seen. This whole month, it's like I've just been watching a soap opera live or something. The both of you abruptly treating me kindly, the bullying vanishing just as quickly. You two could become pretty good actors, you know?
What are you talking about? I am pouring my heart out apologizing here.
You said those things yourself, remember? During the time that I was truly worried. I'm not forgiving you, got it? I am utterly furious. You understand? That's why I'm divorcing you. That's it. I am not going to generously grant you any more of my valuable time. After all of that, while my husband was at work, I had all of his and his mother's luggage delivered. When my mother-in-law left the house, she kept saying, "I'm sorry," apologizing over and over, but I told her that I would never forgive her for as long as I lived. After that, Peter and I had a hard time getting the divorce hammered out, so it ended up having to be a divorce through arbitration. That said, I had taken lots of notes about what Peter and his mother did, so their request didn't carry any weight. It took about 6 months for the divorce to finally be official. It seems like whose fault it was that Peter and his mother had an apartment forced on them ended up being something they would fight about. They're living together now, but I've heard that their life is pretty horrendous right now. My ex-husband, lacking any semblance of money management skill, seems to have started using money from his mother's pension. His mother is as she does, not letting go of Peter and refusing to be separated from him, all the while constantly arguing with him. With his life as it is right now, it doesn't look like my ex-husband will have a new girlfriend anytime soon. After all, if someone were to marry him, he comes with his mother. Even now, I'm hoping his life starts to collapse around him. I, on the other hand, have been leisurely living life how I want to in my once again single household. That said, it's someplace those two know about, so I'm thinking about selling it. I do still have some savings from my single life. It might not be much, but I also do have this property. I've been healing my tired heart for a while, but I'm planning to start looking for a job once again. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos.